Welcome everyone to the deep dive. We're all out there, right?
Yeah.
Grinding it out, hitting the gym, trying to make smart food choices, looking for every single edge we can get to hit those fitness goals.
Yeah, definitely.
But what if there's something like a silent saboteur kind of hiding in plain sight that's quietly just undermining all that effort?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because let's be real, for so many of us, having a drink, maybe it's that, relaxing glass of wine after a super long day, or a beer with friends to celebrate, or a festive cocktail, around the holidays. It's just part of life.
Totally.
It's kind of woven into how we socialize, how we unwind, how we celebrate stuff.
Absolutely. It feels almost universal, like it's just culturally baked in. You're at a party, unwinding after work, celebrating something big, and yeah, there's probably a drink in your hand. It feels so normal that the idea of it messing with your fitness goals can seem, I don't know, a bit inconvenient.
Or even something you just kind of brush off.
Yeah, exactly.
And that right there, that's the tension, the core conflict we really want to dig into today. We totally get it. We acknowledge the huge social side, the cultural aspects of drinking. But, when you layer a serious fitness goals on top, like you're really focused on losing fat, or you're dedicated to building muscle, or pushing your performance, training hard, how does that habit, that seemingly harmless drink, actually fit in?
Or does it fit in? Does that casual beer actually make a difference? Or is it, like you said, just something we can ignore?
That's what we're going to figure out.
Yeah.
So here on the deep dive, our mission is pretty straightforward. We take a whole stack of information, the latest science, peer-reviewed studies, practical advice from experts, our own research, and we pull out the most important, the most actionable bits of knowledge and insight.
Basically, it's your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed on a topic without drowning in all the data.
Ex-
And today, we're diving into alcohol's impact on fitness, a strategic guide. We've really dug deep, tried to cut through all the noise to figure out what's really happening behind that buzz and how it truly affects your body's ability to perform, recover, and, change.
Yeah, and our goal specifically for you listening is to help you understand not just what alcohol does to your body when you're trying to get fit, but critically why it matters for your specific fitness journey. And maybe even more importantly, we want to give you some actionable strategies.
Right.
Because look, we get it. For a lot of people, cutting alcohol out completely, that's not the goal. It might not even be something you want to do. So the aim here is to empower you with the knowledge to make smart, strategic choices that actually line up with your goals.
Okay, let's jump right in then. We often hear these kind of vague warnings, right,
Yeah.
about alcohol and fitness, like, oh, it's not great for you, or, empty calories. And yeah, those aren't wrong, but they barely scratch the surface of the real issues, do they?
Not at all.
So what's the quick take, the summary of the actual, maybe more insidious problems alcohol creates for anyone who's serious about getting fit?
Okay, the quick take basically is that alcohol throws a wrench into almost every single fundamental process that's critical for making fitness progress. It's not just like a minor detour.
Hmm.
It can be a pretty significant roadblock. It directly messes with recovery. That's when your body actually heals and adapts after you work out. It lowers your performance, so your workouts might feel weaker, less effective, and your energy levels just kind of tank.
Right.
And this is a big one. It fundamentally hinders your fat loss efforts, often in ways you don't even realize. If we get specific, we're talking a direct hit on your sleep quality, on crucial hormone production, and on that vital process of muscle protein synthesis, which is basically the blueprint for building and repairing muscle.
Wow. Okay. So it's not just a general, it's bad for you kind of thing. It's actually quite targeted in how it undermines fitness almost surgically.
Yeah, you could say that.
So if you're out there busting your butt in the gym, maybe you're tracking your food meticulously, and you're still not seeing the results you expect, alcohol could seriously be that silent overlooked factor.
It absolutely could be. So the goal of this deep dive isn't just to wag a finger and say alcohol's bad. It's really to empower you with a strategic understanding of how it works.
Got it.
It's about giving you, the listener, the knowledge to strategically figure out how alcohol truly fits into your overall fitness plan, Instead of constantly fighting against it or feeling guilty if you have an occasional drink, it's all about making empowered choices that align with your health goals so you can, enjoy life and still make progress.
Okay, so we've got the quick take. But to really understand why alcohol is such a formidable opponent for fitness goals, we need to peel back the layers, look at what's actually happening inside the body. Let's start with recovery. You said that's key. It's that crucial time after a workout when your body is supposed to be rebuilding, getting stronger.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when alcohol gets thrown into that mix?
Recovery is, well, it's everything for progress, right? It's where the real magic happens. Your body takes the stress from the gym and turns it into actual strength and growth. Alcohol directly compromises this by messing with something called muscle protein synthesis, or MPS.
MPS,
Yeah.
yeah.
So simply put, MPS is the basic process your body uses to repair those damaged muscle fibers after a workout and then build new ones. That leads to growth, strength gains. Think of your muscles after a tough session having these tiny microscopic tears.
Right.
MPS is like your body's dedicated construction crew. They show up with the building materials, amino acids from the protein you eat, and they not only fix those tears but make the muscle stronger, bigger than before. It's literally how you get leaner and stronger.
Okay, so if MPS is the construction crew, alcohol is basically showing up on the job site and telling them to, I don't know, take an unscheduled, very long lunch break.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy. It's the very mechanism for getting stronger and building muscle that alcohol directly interferes with. And the research really backs this up. There was a key study in PLOS1 that found alcohol consumption significantly slowed down muscle recovery. But here's the really striking part, the bit listeners need to grasp.
What's that?
This negative effect happened even when the participants drank protein afterward. A lot of people think, oh, I'll just slam a protein shake, that'll cancel out the booze.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that.
But this study clearly showed that the alcohol itself has this independent, pretty profound impact on your body's ability to recover and repair, regardless of your protein intake. It's like your body's trying to build a wall, you're giving it all the bricks it needs, but the alcohol is actively knocking them out of the builder's hands.
Wow, that's huge for anyone working hard in the gym. So
Right.
all that sweat, the effort, the progressive overload you carefully plan, the perfect form you focused on, alcohol is actively delaying the payoff. It's like blunting your gains, making all that hard work less effective. You put in the time, but you're not getting the full return because your body just can't recover properly. It's like running a race, but only getting halfway to the finish line reward.
That's a perfect way to describe it. You're essentially leaving potential gains on the table, making your training less efficient than it could be. It's a classic example of how even seemingly small amounts of alcohol can have these really disproportionate effects on your recovery.
Okay, let's switch gears then. Fat loss. This is a big one for a lot of people. We all know alcohol has calories, right? And calories count for fat loss. But is it just about the calories? Because if it is, maybe you can just, budget for them, factor them in.
Yeah, that's a common thought, but it's definitely not just about the calories. Although the calories themselves are a pretty significant factor, don't get me wrong. Alcohol packs about 7 calories per gram.
Okay.
Now compare that to fat, which has 9 calories per gram, and protein or carbs, which both have 4 calories per gram. So yeah, alcohol is pretty calorie dense right off the bat.
And these are the infamous empty calories, right? We hear that term all the time.
Exactly. They're called empty because they give you virtually no vitamins, no minerals, no real nutritional benefit.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't need alcohol for fuel or, anything vital, like it needs protein for muscle repair or carbs and fats for energy and organ function.
Right.
So you're taking in calories that don't really help you feel full, don't give you micronutrients, don't help build muscle. But here's where it gets even trickier for fat loss. Metabolic prioritization.
Metabolic prioritization. Okay, that sounds important. Break that down for us.
It's absolutely critical. Basically, when alcohol enters your system, your body immediately shifts gears and prioritizes getting rid of it over metabolizing fat or carbohydrates. Think of alcohol as, well, a toxin. Your body recognizes it as something harmful and wants it gone, ASAP. So your liver, your whole metabolic system, focuses entirely on processing that alcohol first. It's like hitting the emergency brakes. Imagine your body's a factory, right?
Yeah.
You've got lines running for burning fat, burning carbs, and suddenly an alarm blares, toxic substance detected.
Oh.
Yeah. All the other production lines grind to a halt, and every available worker rushes over to the alcohol disposal line to neutralize and eliminate the threat.
So it puts everything else on pause.
Mhm.
Like if I just ate dinner and my body would normally be burning those carbs or fats, but then I have a drink,
Yeah.
that fat burning process just stops.
That's exactly it. It hits the pause button on fat loss. Research, like studies published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, has shown this clearly. When alcohol is present, your body essentially puts fat burning on hold. It won't efficiently burn the fat you want to lose, or even the carbs you just ate, until that alcohol is cleared out. So think about it. If you're working hard to be in a calorie deficit, cracking your food, trying to lose fat, alcohol makes it exponentially harder.
Because your body's just not burning fat while it deals with the booze.
Right. Your body's burning the alcohol calories, it wants them gone, but the stored body fat you're actually trying to target, that stays put. It's a double whammy. You're adding extra, often empty, calories, and you're simultaneously stalling your body's ability to burn its own fat stores.
Man, that explains a lot. It could be one of the biggest hidden reasons people get stuck with stubborn fat, even when they think they're doing everything else right.
It absolutely is. Happens all the time. People just don't realize the impact goes way beyond just the calorie number on the label. It's about how your body processes everything and how it shifts your whole metabolic state.
Okay, let's tackle something many people actually think alcohol helps with, but you're saying it's a massive myth. Sleep. You know, the classic nightcap to help you drift off.
Oh, yeah, that one.
It feels like it works, but it's actually betraying you, isn't it?
It's one of the biggest, and honestly maybe one of the most frustrating myths about alcohol. Look, alcohol might make you feel drowsy initially, help you fall asleep faster. That sedative effect is real.
Okay.
But the quality of the sleep you get after that, it takes a massive hit. It's like booking a 5-star hotel but getting a cheap motel room instead. You might be asleep, technically, but the experience is far from optimal. You definitely don't wake up feeling truly rested or recovered. You're getting the hours, maybe, but losing the actual quality sleep that helps you repair and feel sharp.
So it's not about the quantity of sleep, it's the quality.
Hmm.
How does it specifically mess with sleep quality? Like what's happening physiologically?
Okay, so the main way it does this is by seriously reducing your REM sleep. REM, rapid eye movement sleep. That's generally considered the most restorative type of sleep.
Right, the dream sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And it's absolutely crucial for things like cognitive function, locking in memories, regulating emotions, and even physical recovery and muscle repair. During REM, your brain is super active, consolidating memories, processing feelings, essentially rebooting. Alcohol really fragments your sleep cycles, and it particularly disrupts this vital REM stage, especially later in the night. You end up spending less time in those deep restorative sleep phases and more time in lighter, less efficient stages.
And what are the knock-on effects of that for someone focused on fitness? If you're getting crappy, fragmented sleep without enough REM?
Well, besides messing with REM, alcohol also just makes you wake up more throughout the night. You might not even fully remember waking up, but your sleep becomes much lighter, more broken up, which means your body and brain just aren't getting those deep, uninterrupted cycles they desperately need to truly repair and recover. And then there's the hormonal disruption. Alcohol can significantly suppress the release of human growth hormone, HGH.
Oh, wow. Yeah, HGH is huge for recovery.
Absolutely. Vital for tissue repair, burning fat, building muscle. It can also lower testosterone, especially in men, which we can talk more about too.
So let's connect the dots back to fitness then.
Yeah.
Poor sleep quality equals what in the real world for our listeners?
Poor sleep translates directly to less energy the next day. That means weaker workouts, maybe less motivation to even go to the gym in the first place, and just poor performance when you were training.
Yeah, makes sense.
You just won't have the power, the stamina, the focus you normally would. On top of that, it often leads to increased cravings for unhealthy stuff, usually high-fat, sugary foods, because your body's desperately seeking quick energy to fight the fatigue.
Ah, the fatigue munchies.
Exactly. And ultimately, all these things together just lead to way slower fitness results. You're tired, your muscles aren't repairing right, your hormones are wonky, your willpower's low. It's basically a recipe for stalled progress and a whole lot of frustration. Feels like you're just spinning your wheels.
Speaking of those increased cravings, let's talk about that classic late-night fast food binge after a few drinks.
Yeah.
Is there actually a scientific reason for that? Or is it just, pure lack of willpower kicking in once the alcohol hits? Because, man, it feels like a universal thing.
Oh, it's definitely not just willpower or lack thereof. There's a strong kind of multi-layered scientific basis for why those impulsive food choices suddenly seem like a brilliant idea.
Okay, tell me more.
So alcohol acts on your brain and body in a couple of really powerful ways. First, the obvious one. It lowers your inhibitions. Alcohol directly messes with the decision-making and judgment centers in your brain.
Right.
So that little rational voice that usually says, maybe ordering the double bacon cheeseburger, large fries, and a milkshake at 2 a.m. isn't the best idea. That voice gets way quieter or maybe silenced completely. Makes those impulsive choices feel totally reasonable, maybe even necessary in the moment.
So it's actually physiological, changing your brain chemistry, not just you being psychologically weak.
Exactly. But it's not just lowered inhibitions. Alcohol also has a direct hormonal effect that actually drives hunger. It actively boosts Ghrelin.
Ghrelin, that's the
The,
hunger hormone.
that's the one. Ghrelin signals to your brain that you're hungry, even if you've actually eaten enough calories that day. So now you've got this potent combo.
Yeah.
Your judgment is impaired, and you're getting a real physiological signal telling you you're absolutely starving.
Wow. Talk about fighting a losing battle. Reduced judgment plus intense hunger signals.
It really is. Your body is kind of conspiring against your fitness goals in that moment. And this often leads to what we sometimes call accidental calories. You might have just one or two drinks, seems harmless enough. But then the alcohol triggers these intense cravings for something salty, fatty, super palatable.
Yeah.
And before you know it, that small amount of alcohol has indirectly resulted in you scarfing down 800, maybe 1,000, sometimes even more accidental calories that were definitely not part of your plan. Calories that just completely derail your efforts without you even realizing it until the next morning. Your calorie deficit just vanished in a cloud of, I don't know, cheesy fries.
And this isn't just like anecdotal. You mentioned there's science backing this craving connection too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There was a study back in 2017 published in the Obesity Journal that showed even moderate alcohol intake was linked to eating more calories, specifically from those high-fat, salty, really tasty foods. So yeah, it's not just in your head. There's a clear physiological and behavioral link between drinking and reaching for those high-calorie, often unhealthy options. Makes sticking to any kind of nutrition plan way, way harder, even if you started the day with the best intentions.
Okay, hormones. You mentioned them briefly with sleep, but let's dive deeper. Hormones are like the conductors of the whole orchestra in our bodies, right? Especially for fitness, muscle growth, metabolism, even just mood. How does alcohol play with this intricate hormonal orchestra? Because it sounds like it doesn't play nicely.
Yeah, conductor is a good way to put it. Hormones are absolutely critical messengers regulating pretty much everything, and unfortunately, alcohol is quite the disruptor. Let's start with testosterone, because that's often a big concern for men focusing on fitness, muscle building, vitality.
Right.
Even moderate drinking can significantly lower testosterone levels, and that's a big deal because testosterone is crucial for so many things in men: burning fat efficiently, building and maintaining muscle, energy levels, bone density, even libido. Lower T makes it harder to build muscle, easier to store fat, and can just leave you feeling less driven and recovering slower.
And there's solid research on this for men, right? It's not just a gym myth.
Yeah, definitely. The evidence is pretty clear. For instance, there was a meta-analysis in 2019 published in the journal Andrology. It looked at a bunch of studies and found a really consistent link between drinking alcohol and negative impacts on male reproductive hormones.
Okay.
The consistent finding was that drinking, even moderately, can lead to a measurable drop in circulating testosterone. And it seems to be dose-dependent, meaning the more you drink, the more often you drink, the bigger the potential hit to your hormone levels and therefore your fitness progress.
What about for women then? Testosterone is obviously key for men, but how does alcohol impact women's hormonal balance and their fitness goals? Because, women have different hormonal considerations.
That's a great question and really important. Alcohol's hormonal impact definitely isn't just about men and testosterone. For women, drinking can negatively affect estrogen levels. Now, the exact impact might vary based on things like where you are in your cycle, individual metabolism, stuff like that. But disruptions to estrogen can mess with menstrual cycles, bone density, even mood, and how much water you retain. But maybe something even more universally impactful for both men and women, but especially relevant for women sometimes, is alcohol's pretty potent ability to significantly jack up cortisol levels.
Cortisol, the stress hormone, right?
Yeah.
The one everyone links to belly fat.
Exactly. Cortisol is your body's main stress hormone. It gets released when your body perceives a threat, whether that's, actual danger or just the physiological stress of processing alcohol. And while cortisol has important jobs like helping you wake up or mobilizing energy, chronically high cortisol, that leads to a whole host of problems that directly undermine fitness goals.
Like what?
Well, high cortisol can encourage fat storage, especially around the abdomen, that stubborn belly fat. It can actually break down lean muscle tissue, which is the opposite of what you want. It can suppress your immune system, make you more likely to get sick, and it contributes to increased inflammation throughout the body. So if you're drinking regularly, even moderately, you might be keeping your body in this sort of low-level, chronic state of stress, which just makes fat loss harder and muscle gain less efficient. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. It's this underlying physiological stressor that a lot of people just don't think about when they pour that drink, and it can subtly, but really significantly, sabotage all your hard work.
Okay, so After hearing all of that, the recovery issues, the fat loss sabotage, the sleep wrecking, the cravings, the hormonal chaos.
Yeah.
What does this actually mean for people listening? If you're really serious about fitness, is all alcohol just completely off the table? Is it an all or nothing thing? Either you go totally sober or you just accept stalled progress.
Not necessarily, no.
Or is there maybe a way to, enjoy a drink sometimes, but minimize the damage to all these crucial things we just talked about?
Yeah, I think there is. Look, life is about balance, right? And for a lot of people, complete abstinence, it's just not sustainable. Or maybe not even desirable. That never again mindset can sometimes backfire, lead to that all or nothing thinking where you eventually just fall off the wagon completely.
Sure.
However, if your fitness goals really truly matter to you, then you absolutely have to make smart, strategic choices when it comes to alcohol. The key is understanding that not all drinks are created equal, not even close, especially when you factor in things like calorie density, hidden sugars, or even their potential to cause inflammation.
Right.
So the goal here isn't to tell you stop drinking. It's to give you a blueprint for how to drink with minimal damage if you choose to, and more importantly, how to integrate it consciously, thoughtfully into your lifestyle.
Okay, I like that approach. Strategic choices.
Yeah.
So let's get specific then. What are those smart choices? If someone wants to have a drink but keep their fitness goals front and center, what should they be reaching for? Let's give them some really actionable strategic options.
All right, first up, and this is probably the perennial favorite for minimizing the impact, the vodka soda with lime. Simple, clean, effective.
Ah, the classic. You see it everywhere now. But why specifically is this such a smart pick compared to, say, I don't know, a gin and tonic or a rum and coke?
Okay, so a standard 1.5-ounce shot of unflavored vodka mixed with plain soda water comes in at around 65 to maybe 75 calories. But here's the crucial part. 0 grams of sugar, 0 grams of carbs.
Zero. Okay.
Yeah. Vodka is a distilled spirit, so that process removes all the carbs, fat, sugar. Soda water is just carbonated water, no calories, no sugar. Then you add a squeeze of fresh lime for flavor. Again, no calories or sugar. Unlike, say, tonic water, which has a surprising amount of sugar,
Okay.
or sugary sodas like Coke.
Right. Tonic is deceptively sugary.
Totally. Plus, because you're diluting a high-proof spirit with water, it actually helps a bit with hydration compared to really sugary mixers, which can make dehydration worse.
Yeah.
You know, the USDA nutrient database puts a 1.5-ounce shot of 80-proof vodka around 96 calories. So being mindful of your pour, maybe choosing a slightly lower proof, definitely keeps you in that lower range. It's pretty much the cleanest option you can get in terms of macros.
Got it. Minimal calories, zero sugar helps hydration. Hard to beat that. What's number 2 on our strategic list?
Next up, light beer.
Okay, light beer. Makes sense it's better than regular, but how much better? Is the difference really significant enough to, maybe sacrifice some taste for?
Oh, yeah. The difference is definitely significant, and for many people focused on fitness, it's absolutely worth it. A typical 12-ounce light beer has somewhere around 90 to 100 calories and maybe 2 to 6 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
Compare that to a standard beer, which can easily be 150, 200, even 300 plus calories, depending on the style. Light beers are specifically brewed to be lower in both alcohol and calories. Think of the big brands. Michelob Ultra, Bud Light, Miller Lite, they're all usually under 100 calories.
Right.
The key factor here is the ABV, alcohol by volume. Higher ABV almost always means more calories. Those delicious craft beers, especially IPAs or stouts, they can easily hit 250, 300, even 350 plus calories per pint because they often have much higher ABVs like 7%, 8%, sometimes 10% or more, and also more leftover sugars from brewing.
Yes, some IPAs are like a meal in a glass calorie-wise.
Exactly. Light beers typically hover around 4% ABV or less. That's how they manage to save you so many calories while still giving you a beer experience. The NIH Calorie Guide confirms this difference too. So yeah, if beer's your drink, going light is a vastly smarter choice for your fitness goals.
That makes total sense, especially seeing how quickly those craft beer calories add up. 3 of those could easily wipe out your whole day's calorie deficit. Okay, what about wine? A lot of people enjoy a glass of wine, especially red wine, sometimes thinking it's even healthy.
Right, for wine drinkers, the smart pick is a dry red or white wine. And the emphasis there is really on dry.
Dry. Okay, how many calories are we looking at, and why is dry the magic word here?
So a standard 5-ounce glass, and we'll come back to that, 5 ounces of dry red or white wine, usually has around 120 calories, and typically only about 1 gram of sugar per glass.
Okay, low sugar.
Yeah, and that dry part is key because it refers to how much sugar is left after the fermentation process. Dry wines, think Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc have very little leftover sugar. You absolutely want to steer clear of sweet wines like Moscato, Port, or a lot of Rieslings. Those can pack a surprising punch, like 7, 8, even 9 grams of sugar per glass.
Whoa, that's almost like a soda.
Seriously, it can turn your supposedly healthier choice into a total sugar bomb really fast.
Okay, so the type of wine really matters. Now, what about that red wine health halo? The heart health stuff. Any truth to that?
There's a tiny kernel of truth there, but it gets massively overstated. Dry red wine does contain compounds called polyphenols, like resveratrol, which might have some antioxidant properties, maybe some heart benefits in moderation. Harvard Health has published reviews on this, but the benefits are really modest, and they certainly don't cancel out the negative effects of drinking too much. You'd have to drink an insane amount of red wine to get a dose of resveratrol that actually makes a clinical difference, and by then, the alcohol itself would be doing way, way more harm than good.
Right, the dose makes the poison.
Exactly. So the crucial thing with wine, besides choosing dry, is portion control. A standard serving is 5 ounces, but wine glasses have gotten huge, and many people pouring at home, or even bartenders, pour way more than that. A generous pour could easily be 8 or 9 ounces.
Doubling the calories almost.
Yeah, significantly bumping up your calorie and alcohol intake without you even noticing. So
Yeah.
stick to that 5-ounce measure. Use a measuring cup if you have to. The USDA nutrient database uses that 5-ounce standard for a reason.
That's such an easy trap to fall into with those big glasses.
Nah.
Okay, what's our last strategic option for someone wanting a drink with minimal fitness fallout?
Our final smart pick, and this one might surprise some folks, tequila, either neat or with soda water.
Tequila. My mind immediately goes to, like, sugary margaritas and bad decisions. Convince me why this is on the smart list.
I get that. But we're talking pure tequila here, specifically 100% agave tequila, not the sugary cocktails it often ends up in. A 1.5-ounce shot of good tequila runs between 70 and 90 calories. And again, key point, 0 grams of sugar, 0 grams of carbs.
Okay, 0-0 again.
Yep. As long as it's 100% agave, it's naturally low-cal and additive-free. The problems start when you mix it with those high-sugar syrups, artificial margarita mixes, or sugary fruit juices. That's when a margarita can suddenly become a 300, 400, even 500-calorie sugar monster with 30-plus grams of sugar. That's basically dessert, not a fitness-friendly drink.
So it's the mixers again, they're the real villains, not necessarily the tequila itself. Anything else good about tequila besides being low-cal and sugar-free?
Well, there are some anecdotal reports and a few small studies suggesting that tequila might lead to fewer hangover symptoms compared to darker liquors like bourbon or whiskey or even red wine.
Oh, interesting. Why is that?
It's thought to be because tequila, especially Blanco or silver tequila, has lower levels of something called congeners. Congeners are basically chemical byproducts from fermentation and aging impurities, essentially that often contribute to those awful hangover feelings like headaches and nausea. Clear spirits generally have fewer congeners than darker ones.
So it might be a cleaner buzz, potentially?
Potentially, yeah.
Right.
Some people find they feel better the next day, sticking to clear spirits like tequila or vodka. So having Blanco tequila neat, on the rocks, or just with soda water can be a surprisingly clean choice from a fitness perspective. Just be super vigilant about not adding sugary mixers. That's where it all goes wrong.
Okay, so we've covered the what's to drink, but you mentioned earlier it's not just what you drink, but also when you drink it and how you approach it. That really matters,
Yeah.
right? Timing and habits seem just as important as the drink choice itself.
Absolutely. Crucial. You could pick the perfect low-cal, zero-sugar drink like that vodka soda. But if your timing and habits are off, you're still going to undermine your fitness efforts significantly. We've got the what, now let's nail down the when and how to really minimize alcohol's impact. These are the practical tips that make a huge difference day to day.
Okay, lay them on us. What are the concrete strategies people can use?
All right, first one, and this is a biggie. Try to avoid drinking on training days.
Okay, why is that so critical? What's special about a training day that makes alcohol extra bad?
Well, think about what state your body is in on a training day. You've just put significant stress on your muscles, right? Created those micro tears we talked about. You've also likely depleted your glycogen stores, your main energy source. Your body desperately needs to shift into repair and refueling mode.
Makes sense.
If you introduce alcohol then, you immediately slow down your body's ability to do that essential repair work. We already know it messes with muscle protein synthesis. Plus, alcohol is diuretic. It makes you pee more, leading to dehydration. That is the last thing you need when your body is already trying to recover from a workout where you lost fluids through sweat.
So you're making recovery way harder.
Exactly. You're forcing your body to work overtime just to get back to baseline before it can even start rebuilding and adapting. It just prolongs recovery and reduces your capacity to bounce back for the next session.
And building on that, you also mentioned specifically, don't drink right after your workout. Is that even more critical than just avoiding it generally on a training day?
I'd say yes, because you're intervening during the absolute most crucial, time-sensitive window for recovery and growth. That period immediately after training, that's when your body is primed for muscle protein synthesis. It's sending out urgent signals. Repair, grow, now. It's ready to soak up nutrients and kickstart that repair process. If you pour alcohol into your system right then, you are directly blunting that muscle repair process. Remember that PLOS-1 study? Alcohol messed up recovery even with protein. So you're effectively telling your muscles, stop that important work you were about to do. All the effort you just put in, all the signals for growth, they get diminished, maybe even canceled out by that post-workout beer or wine.
Wow. It's like hitting the brakes right when you want to accelerate muscle growth. Like telling your muscles, nah, let's not get stronger today.
Pretty much, yeah. So, rule of thumb, if you are going to drink, keep it to your non-training days, and definitely keep it far away from that immediate post-workout window. That's a clear, actionable guideline.
Okay, clear guideline. What other strategic habits can help minimize the collateral damage?
Drink with food. This sounds simple, but it's incredibly effective and often overlooked. When you drink alcohol on an empty stomach, it gets absorbed into your bloodstream much, much faster.
Right, hits you harder.
Yeah, exactly. Leads to a quicker, higher spike in your blood alcohol content. That just worsens all the negative effects, impaired judgment, sleep disruption, dehydration, everything. Drinking with food, especially a balanced meal with protein, fats, some complex carbs, acts like a buffer. It significantly slows down how fast the alcohol gets absorbed.
Okay.
Your body processes it more gradually, reducing that peak blood alcohol level. Plus, it helps stabilize your blood sugar, which can prevent those sharp drops later that trigger intense cravings and maybe save you from that late-night accidental calorie disaster.
That makes perfect sense. Slows the roll, gives your body a chance. And finally, something that sounds obvious but probably gets forgotten in the moment. Hydrate strategically.
Oh, absolutely non-negotiable. And honestly, one of the easiest ways to lessen some of alcohol's negative impact, like we said, alcohol's a diuretic, makes you lose fluids. Dehydration messes with literally everything. Energy, focus, nutrient delivery, muscle function, metabolism, everything. So the simple rule here, make it automatic.
Right.
For every alcoholic drink you have, follow it up with a full glass of water.
1 for 1.
1 for 1. It helps counteract that diuretic effect, keeps you more hydrated, and can seriously reduce how bad you feel the next day. Less hangover means you can get back to your routine faster without feeling totally wiped. Plus, it physically slows down your drinking pace and means you naturally consume less alcohol over the course of an evening. Strategic hydration should just be part of the plan if you choose to drink. No excuses.
Okay, so we've gone deep. We've covered how alcohol messes with your goals, what to drink to minimize the damage, and the crucial when and how to integrate it strategically. Let's wrap this up. What's the bottom line here for everyone listening? The ultimate takeaway from this deep dive.
Okay, the bottom line is this. Having a drink isn't going to completely destroy your fitness journey overnight, especially if it's rare and in small amounts. It's not like an instant undo button for your workout.
Right.
But, and this is a big but it absolutely, unequivocally impacts your results. If you're training consistently, eating pretty clean, managing stress, but you're still scratching your head wondering why progress feels so damn slow, or why you're not seeing the changes you expect, alcohol could very well be that subtle yet powerful culprit working against you behind the scenes.
That silent saboteur we talked about at the start.
Exactly. Quietly diminishing your efforts, making the road to your goals just that much harder than it needs to be.
So it really comes down to not necessarily aiming for perfection or total abstinence, but being really strategic, intentional, and informed about your choices. Making decisions that actually line up with what you really want for your health and your body.
Precisely. If you're going to drink, do it strategically. The goal isn't necessarily zero alcohol forever, but making it fit with your goals, not fight against them.
Whoa.
It's about being mindful, making informed choices based on the science we've talked about, really empowering yourself to take control. And hey, if you want that one, single go-to option. The simplest, most effective choice to minimize damage to fat loss and muscle gain.
Yeah.
It really is that vodka soda with lime. Low calorie, zero sugar doesn't throw your metabolism completely out of whack if, and this is the key, if you integrate it consciously, strategically, stick to maybe one or two, and hammer that hydration.
That's a really powerful, actionable takeaway. It gives people real agency. So for you listening, maybe this deep dive isn't just about if you drink, but how consciously you integrate it. It's really about empowering you to take an honest look at your own habits. How might alcohol be playing a role in your progress or lack thereof? And could making even small strategic shifts unlock significantly better results for you? Something to really think about next time you're offered a drink. Are you making an intentional choice that aligns with your goals? Are you choosing a strategic drink, timing it right, hydrating? Just that awareness, that consciousness can be transformative. It shifts you from maybe unknowingly sabotaging your efforts to actively optimizing them.
Well said.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into alcohol's, well, pretty complex impact on fitness. We really hope this has armed you with the knowledge to make better, more informed choices for your health and your goals.
Yeah, and if you are looking for more straight talking, fitness, nutrition, wellness tips like this, stuff designed for the real world but backed by research, definitely check out and subscribe to the BeFit blog. It's free. You can find it over at befit.ai. We focus on giving you strategies that actually fit your lifestyle and help you get results.
Awesome. And we'll be back next time with another deep dive into the topics that matter most for your health and wellness journey. Until then, stay healthy, stay informed, and keep making those conscious choices.
Please remember, folks, this content is purely for educational purposes. It is not medical advice. Always, always talk to a healthcare professional before making any decisions about alcohol or your diet, especially if you have any pre-existing health conditions.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone.